gospel, and holiday classics featuring an 18-piece band, all-star vocalist, and community choirs, all in support of the Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund. This performance comes at a pivotal time for many in Altadena and Pasadena. This is their first holiday season since the devastating Altadena Eden Canyon fire, which destroyed homes and community spaces. While the physical losses are immense, the power of community remains, and your attendance directly supports recovery, resilience, and renewal. So, be sure to join us Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Graham Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, benefiting survivors of the Altadena Eden Canyon fire. For ticket information, just log on to tickets@thewallace.org. That's tickets@thewallace.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580 and the Black Freedom Fund.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. The show is called First Things First, and my very first thing today and every day is giving thanks to God, giving praises to the Most High, and asking for blessings, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and let's go. I mean, it's one of those days. We got a lot to talk about. It's pretty much every day, but even more so today. So it's a Think Tank Thursday. That's what we call our Thursdays, Think Tank Thursdays. We're going to think about things, process them, and hopefully we have some top scholars and legal minds and such to help us do all of that. And we are on point. In fact, today we got a lot of folks, so I'm happy about that. I always like it when I have company in the studio and on the phone. So Hour 1, we always look local, what's happening left coast side of town, Pacific Ocean area. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. Today we'll be talking with Dr. James Lance Taylor. He's a political scientist and a professor at USF, and I'm hoping that he can help us understand, what's happening with these, strikes in the Caribbean and the possibility of war crimes and just regular war. So we'll talk to Dr. Taylor. And Hour 3, Dr. Micah Johnson will be joining me in studio, and we'll take a look at trauma. There's something that we can put our think tank caps on and ponder, because most of us have it. And certainly I would say collectively as a nation, we have it right now because, well, we do. Look, I didn't vote for it. Y'all voted for this trauma. Now we're living through it. I'm just playing. I know most of y'all did not. However, processing that and understanding it, that's part of our think tank assignment for today. I'm joined right now by some folks that can give you whatever the opposite of trauma is. Well, activism, inspiration, calls to action. A couple of folks joining me from the LA Black Workers Center. Sameul Rice is a member leader, a speaker, and a member of the Political Education Committee. Welcome, Sameul.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And Ariel Moore is a campaign coordinator who does everything from working on abolitionist reforms to fighting for legislation to end prison profiteering. Welcome, Ariel.
Thank you for having me, Dominique.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. I think it's great for people in our KBLA delegation to tap in with all the many activists in the city, because we spend a lot of time scrolling, doom scrolling, and hand wringing and pearl clutching about all the terrible things that are going on in Washington. And it's easy to forget how many people are really activated on these streets. And so let's talk about some of the stuff that you are working on. I say because city charter reform is something most people don't understand at all. I'm sorry to inform you that it's not considered sexy, but it's also very, very important. Ariel, you want to start, kind of explain what the heck is city charter reform?
Of course. And you're absolutely right. It's not sexy. And I would even argue that the fact that it's not on most people's radar is intentional. It's by design. So the city charter is LA's rule book. It decides who gets hired, it decides who gets opportunities, and who gets left out. And so the city charter is essentially the city's constitution, and it covers many scopes. The LA Black Worker Center is focusing specifically on the personnel piece of the charter and how that affects civil service, and essentially will unlock the key for Black folks and Black workers to be able to access public sector jobs.
Okay, so I'm gonna ping pong. So you guys both, I know, have a lot to say about this, but why will that impact jobs? Public sector jobs are, I would say, traditionally one of the ways that Black people get into the middle class and lift ourselves out of poverty.
Well, traditionally, that was one of the key ways that kept our families thriving in the community, so to speak. And since the older generation, everybody seems to be getting pushed out, because this generation, they're just not getting into those jobs or situations as frequently as we used to.
Yeah, and if we look at what's happened with the so-called Doge cuts, which I know they've dissolved Doge now, but the damage is done. A lot of those are Black women who have lost public sector jobs that have traditionally held it down for our families. I mean, my own granddad was a postal worker, and because of him working for the post office, my dad was able to go to college, go to Howard and become an intellectual leading Black liberation. I mean, I think there's direct lines like that in a lot of our families. So,
yeah.
I mean, why is it that we're getting pushed out of these jobs, other than Doge and the fact that there's an anti-Black mandate in Washington right now?
I would say that there's kind of three primary reasons. We know that one of the biggest systemic barriers is the civil service exam, which has very little to do with the actual classification of the job that folks are applying for, and everything to do with keeping Black people out. Essentially, it operates very similar to literacy tests or the SAT. It is not meant for people who are not academic in that way, who are not natural test takers, which has nothing to do with whether you have the skill or ability to actually perform in the role.
I remember when the mayor of the city first came in, she was talking about the jobs. Now, I know at the moment we're in a budget crisis, so a lot of those jobs are not being filled. But one of the things that was under discussion was pipelines to create, I wouldn't say a way around the civil service exam, but more equitable means of assessing whether somebody is fit for the job or not. Where are we with that?
Yeah, it's about modernizing the hiring process. And so what that looks like is there's been the Target Local Hire program, which has been successful to an extent. But when we look, it's been operating since 2015. But when we look at the actual numbers of it, how much has it impacted Black workers specifically? Not significantly. And so that's another reason why we think, although it was great intention and a great idea, it can certainly be optimized. The Pathway program, what it needs to look like is training and a way for folks to be able to get onto these jobs, for the the test to be modernized, for it to be skills based, and then also for there to be a clear and direct promotion pathway. What is happening through Target Local Hire is folks are getting entry level jobs and then they're not being promoted. The lore of all Black families saying get you a good city job is because you could start at an entry level, it had minimal education requirements, you didn't need a college degree, and then you could work your way up. Many folks then became promoted, and that's largely how the Black middle class was able to become home ownership or achieve home ownership, and that's a lot of our stories, whether that be our grandparents or our parents. And it's really diabolical the way in which they're trying to shut us out.
And how draw the line for me here? What does the city charter have anything to do with that? I mean, how could it help? What kinds of things could go into a city charter that would make any difference about whether or not Black people are getting locked out of these jobs? Yeah,
that's a great question. So the city charter itself is an extremely long document. It's very arduous. I've never read it before I started leading this campaign, and I imagine that most folks have never read it either.
Right.
We developed some reform recommendations, and initially the idea behind them was, what are the biggest barriers to our folks getting this type of employment? And then how can we make sure that even if we were to change the rules, there's oversight and enforcement? Because we know all too well that we change rules and then the rules are not enforced. There's no buy-in from the administration. And so we wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity to not only change the rules, but also impact material conditions. And so what that looks like for us is about 5 charter reform recommendations. The first one we've already discussed, modernizing hiring and testing. Secondly, we want to create independent oversight for fair hiring. So that would look like an independent equity and civil service review board that would be made up of community, labor, and hiring experts to oversee testing, hiring, and promotion practices. We also are looking to build a public service career pipeline. And I think that's most important. LABWC was fortunate enough to launch the WED program. And so we were promised 200 city jobs. We've learned from that. Number one, we only got about 49 of those jobs, actually.
Oh, wow.
Before the budget cuts and before we were told that there just was no money left. And then on top of that, all of those jobs were in sanitation. And I think that exactly. I think that says something. And we know what our folks deserve, and we know what our people are capable of. Black workers are incredibly talented with a diverse skill set. And so to say that Black workers can only be in public works, sanitation, or labor jobs, I think that reflects a long history of how this city values Black labor.
I agree. So on my behalf, I was formerly incarcerated, right? So coming home, I really didn't understand the dynamics of the reality of things. So finding out moving forward, it wasn't just I couldn't get a job, and I thought it was due to the fact that I didn't have work history or good references. So I took the time to go to school and do everything I needed to do. Going to some of those interviews, I found out that some of the stuff wasn't even relevant to what I learned. So I passed the class, but couldn't really pass the test. And I was like, oh, wow, what's going on?
You passed the class, but couldn't pass the civil service exam.
Right,
Wow.
right. So it was like strange. So I really didn't get enlightenment till I came across the LABWC, the Los Angeles Black Workers Center, just opened my eyes to those reasons and facts that I really didn't realize was systematic or systemic. And that's why charter reform is so important, because they regulate those issues and create a form of transparency and accountability regarding those things. So that's really what we're trying to establish with the charter.
So in your experience when you went in for those jobs, after having gone and prepared yourself to succeed, what were you finding? I mean, did it seem like gatekeeping? Did it feel like intentional barriers? Or was it just that the training didn't fit the test? Or was it, I mean, what did you make of it?
Some of the stuff on the testing wasn't relevant to the classwork. You know, it was more like outside of that.
It's more like name 5 Taylor Swift songs.
Something weird, right? Yeah. So then, like I said, it just didn't make sense until I got involved with the Black Worker Center, and they just knew some of the things that I needed to know. So therefore,
So then the training started to match what you were going for as far as the work and starting to look at some of these issues like what we're talking about. What is keeping our people out? I have a lot more questions, but we'll continue this conversation when we come forward. I'm Dominique DePrima, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
KBLA Talk 1580 remembers Robin Ayers on the 1-year anniversary of her passing. 1 year ago this week, we lost a remarkable and vibrant voice. Robin Ayers touched countless lives through her passion, her love, her service, and her smile, which you could see through the radio. KBLA Talk 1580 honors her memory and celebrates the legacy she left behind. Robin, your spirit lives on in every conversation, in every connection, and in every one of us, inspired by your voice. Gone, but never forgotten. KBLA Talk 1580, where voices matter.
I'm missing you. Tell me why the road turns. I'm missing you. Tell me why the road turns.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Light a candle, pour some wine. Grab a roll, the soft kind for a little me time. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wavy edges for my rear. So let the softness caress your soul. Just relax, you're on a roll. Let her rip. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has the same softness you love, now with wavy edges that tear better than the leading one-ply brand. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, we're back to me. We're back to you. You're welcome into the conversation at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. And of course, if you're new here, there is a whole parallel conversation going on in the YouTube comments. Just go to youtube.com. KBLA 1580. Kwamel says, yikes, have we returned to being shut out from work so they can force us to be the help they can look down on at their feet again? Jerry Anderson says the civil service exam is going to weed out the ones who paid attention from in class, the ones that didn't, and more discrimination. And so, I mean, this is being a think tank Thursday. Part of what we have to look at is ways around this. How do we surmount this? We see 300,000 plus black women already laid off of those civil service jobs. I said during the first Trump administration that public sector jobs is now a euphemism for black people. It's another form of N-word, just like woke. They, where they can say public sector jobs and make it seem like people are lazy or they're being paid to do nothing. And then now all these people have been laid off, and we're looking at paralysis in many government departments and real delays and problems. So we can see that these 300,000 black women were actually doing a lot of things. The question becomes, if we are being shut out, what do we do about it? Ariel Moore and Sameul Rice are here. They're with the LA Black Worker Center. One of the solutions that they see, that the LABWC sees, is city charter reform. As we sit in this studio broadcasting from the Crenshaw District, Leimert Park, Africatown, USA. You said, Ariel, that there were 5 recommendations. We talked about oversight, modernizing hiring, And I'm thinking there's 3 more.
There are 3 more. So our third is building a public service career pipeline. What that looks like for us is connecting internships, training programs, and community-based pre-apprenticeships directly into permanent city jobs. And we want to create a pathway into a stable public sector employment that guarantees a promotion pathway, that guarantees opportunity to communities that have been historically kept out on purpose. The fourth is prioritizing inclusive recruitment. And so I spoke about that just now, but also it's important that we want to partner with labor, local unions, community college, and existing workforce programs to ensure that every Angelino has a fair shot at a public service job. And 5 is kind of a 3 parts. But essentially what we want to do is codify workforce equity in the charter. And when we say that, I know sometimes people can think, well, that sounds a lot like affirmative action. It does, because it operates in a way that affirmative action can't. So affirmative action, both from the university and the public sector employment, excludes hiring based on race. However, there is a legal precedent and a loophole. And what that looks like is communities who have experienced historical structural harm have opportunity to get the kind of reparations or repair that our communities deeply deserve and that is owed to us. And so that's what we mean when we say equity in workforce equity in the charter. It means that Black workers are being pushed out for the last 50 years, and what we see is economic poverty. What we see is a standstill in both the social mobility that our grandparents and our parents were able to achieve, and also what we see is us being pushed out of the city. Black people used to make up the large population of cities like Leimert Park, cities like Inglewood, cities like Baldwin Hills, and now what we see is as older folks are passing away, retiring, they aren't able to give these properties to their children because they don't have the type of living wages to be able to take on that type of property tax or the mortgage.
Yeah, not to mention the temptation of selling it because there's a lot of pressure, But when I want to go back to something you said earlier, which is that when we look at target local hires and some of the other job, I don't know, I guess we can't call them set-asides, but job promises that were made, and how you reference that they're just not getting it for Black people, like that people are getting hired through target local hire, but those people that are getting hired are not us. Why?
Yeah, it's really how it functions. It's very bureaucratic. So essentially with target local hire, how it operates is the city partners with different CBOs across the city, and you have to, in order to be able to apply, you have to go to these CBOs.
Community-based organizations. And you get a code, essentially. And you have to use that reference code in order to be able to even fill out an application. But before you can get that code, you have to meet a set of qualifications. And depending on the community-based organization you go, depends on how strict they are about whether you can just tell them that you qualify for those things, whether there's any level of oversight, and then also who is showing up to those places. What we've seen is primarily target local hire, which works from zip codes, is most popular and has been most successful in Hollywood. And we know that Black people don't make a large part of the Hollywood population. Wow, that's fascinating. I mean, it seems like something that wouldn't be that hard to remedy. We have lots of Black community-based organizations.
Right, we do.
So
I think that's the first layer. The first layer is what I just described, and then the second layer, of course, is a piece of it operating very similarly to how civil service rules operate more largely. And so Target Local Hire was supposed to be this program that got Black folks in. I think that based from LABWC and what we know, maybe 4 or 5 people have been successful.
4 or 5 people? That's insane.
4 or 5 people. A 10-year program.
10 in 10 years?
In a 10-year program.
Yeah, that's a failure. I mean, that's a failure. People like to say there's no Black people in LA. I was jumped into the middle of a huge argument about that on social media for no reason yesterday. And it's just not true. I mean, the fact is we're a small percentage of the population, but we're a small percentage of a huge population. Like 8% of 4 million is a whole bunch of people.
A lot of people.
You can find us. We're here. I can tell you where to find us.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not sure, I can tell you where to find us.
And more interestingly, it's like Black people, just like you said, we make up 8% of the population. We make up 30% of incarcerated folks in LA.
That's crazy, but not surprising.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember, not just incarceration, the homelessness.
Yeah.
The homelessness, the joblessness, all the things that plague the community.
So you know where to find us when it's time to put us in jail.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay, so we're back to your, because like they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so it sounds like city charter reform is 1 bite or 5 bites. So if you, for example, you're talking about putting equity into the charter, city charter, or the city constitution, it seems nearly impossible in a time when DEI is under attack, when anything that helps Black people is not illegal, but being presented as illegal and problematic.
Yeah, definitely challenging, especially when we have this administration who is saying reverse racism is real, who thinks there's a war against whites, and there's a lot of rhetoric around what's fair. I think what makes LA really interesting as kind of a pilot project for this type of reform is that we have a Black mayor. We have a Black president of the city council. And so as we have these Black elected officials in these high authoritative positions, who better to become public advocates and to showcase that there is actually an opportunity to champion change. And I think this is really a litmus test for what does it mean to be a Black leader in Los Angeles, and how are you going to make sure that there are leaders who can come after you?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good. I think what a lot of people experienced under President Obama was that in some ways, being that Black faces in high places, in some cases, it's harder for them to, or more problematic for them to advance things that help us because they are so busy proving that they're the president for all people or the mayor for all people. And so it can be more challenging for them to say, we need to do something for Black workers. I don't agree with that. I think that, when, as you say, the people that are homeless, the people that are being incarcerated, the people that are being pushed out are Black, then regardless of your ethnicity, if you're the mayor, that should be a priority for your city.
Right, Dominique. I agree.
It should be a priority. And I think that when I say a litmus test, it really understanding that, yes, Black leaders are under insurmountable pressure.
And scrutiny.
Yes, and scrutiny. Both and. Right now, Mayor Bask is investing millions of dollars in policing. Not only that, but you spoke earlier about the budget cuts and how that really put a pause on hiring because there were potentially going to be so many layoffs. At the same time, there was this conversation about opening or allowing an emergency hiring for LAPD specifically in preparation for the games, in preparation for the Olympics. And so it's clear that when the city wants to invest in something, they can. And if they can invest in criminalizing whole neighborhoods, they can certainly invest in employing them.
We got news, traffic, and sports right here. Then we're going to keep this conversation going. It's the City Charter Reform campaign of the LA Black Worker Center, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The DOJ is suing a Westland, Michigan landlord, William Asper, for sexual harassment and retaliation under the Fair Housing Act. He's accused of offering housing for sex, making unwanted advances, and threatening eviction when women refused. This woman was a victim.
This is the closest you can meet to a demon on this earth. He is a monster.
Prosecutors say he preyed on vulnerable tenants. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries backs a preemptive pardon for Representative Henry Queller, who faced bribery and money laundering charges. Jeffries called the case thin and said the outcome was right after President Trump announced the pardon in a post blasting Democrats. And legendary R&B guitarist Steve Cropper has died at 84. A key figure in the Memphis sound, Cropper co-wrote hits like Knock on Wood, In the Midnight Hour, and Dock of the Bay. Cropper passed away Wednesday in Nashville. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Last night in Atlanta, the Clippers played like they had a clear conscience and the weight of the world was knocked off their shoulders. Did the removal of Chris Paul have something to do with that? A very debatable subject. The Clippers dominated Atlanta 115-92 to snap a 5-game losing streak. It was only the second time this season the Clippers held an opponent below 100 points. The Clippers gave up 98 points at Golden State on October 28th, but lost that game. James Harden led the Clippers last night with 27 points and 9 assists. The Clippers' defense was so effective that Atlanta had only 14 free throw attempts. It was obvious the Clippers were in a better mood in their first game without Paul. The 12-time All-Star point guard and future Hall of Famer was released late Tuesday night for being too critical of the team. We'll see if Paul's departure keeps the Clippers in a feel-good atmosphere. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Established in 2020 during a time of deep racial unrest across our state and country, the Black Freedom Fund was created to make sure that leaders and organizations working to support Black communities and build power have the resources they need to stay in the fight for the long haul. We believe that those closest to the issues impacting our communities know best how to solve them. That's why in just the last 5 years, we've granted more than $45 million to over 200 grassroots organizations across California. That is the largest collective investment in Black organizing in history, and we're just getting started. We are clear-eyed and committed, more now than ever, to our people, our power, and our possibility. Join us in creating a future where Black people harness their full power to shape their lives and realize a just world for all. Learn more at fundblackfreedom.org. That's fundblackfreedom.org. The Black Freedom Fund is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
This holiday season, KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you and yours joy, peace, and prosperity. As we celebrate with family and friends, we're already looking forward to an exciting first quarter, packed with must-attend events to kick off the new year just right. In January, join us for our inaugural Brotherhood Brunch, bringing together community leaders, change makers, and everyday people for inspiration and connection. February means it's time for our signature Black History Month luncheon, a powerful celebration you won't want to miss. And in March, Women's History Month, we're once again hosting our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium and Luncheon, addressing the issues that matter most inside our community. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, happy holidays. Stay tuned for more details on these incredible upcoming events. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice, your community, your power.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And we are talking to the folks from the LA Black Worker Center. Before we get back into that conversation, it's time for a little holiday fun. The Metrolink has something called the Holiday Express. I didn't know about this, but it's really cool. They're holiday-themed train rides. So this is a train, right? It's a little over an hour. You go on this train. There's Christmas carolers. There's holiday characters. There's activities, food, music. And it's a ride around the city to see fun things around the city while having a party on the train. I don't know if I did a good job explaining, but it sounds really fun to me. It's basically a party train for the holiday season. And the first one is Saturday, the day after tomorrow. Well, we've got a pair of tickets right now to caller 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We're taking caller 15 right now if you want to go, you and a friend. It's 2 tickets, pair of tickets for the MetroLink Holiday Express on Saturday. It's going to be really fun. And I think it's just a great idea to get together with a group of Angelinos for no other reason than to ride around and have fun. I love that so much. We don't do enough stuff like that. 800-920-1580 if you want a pair of tickets to go do a holiday thing this weekend and get yourself in the mood and in the season. Ariel Moore from the LA Black Worker Center is here, along with Sameul Rice, also from the LA Black Worker Center. We, as usual, we're talking black jobs. That's what we talk about, which phrase Donald Trump made so famous, black jobs, and then we see what he did. He got in office and started cutting black jobs right, left, and center. I'm fascinated, Sameul, because you talk about being a justice-impacted person coming back into the workforce. And over the years on this radio mic, I've talked to so many people like yourself who say it's tough to get in. It's tough to get back in to the workforce. And so we hear all this lip service about how we want to help justice-impacted persons to get jobs and get started back in life and not be part of this revolving door of recidivism. But it sounds like in your experience, we still haven't solved that puzzle at all.
So for me, it's not that I can't get a job. I can get a gig, like something that really don't have no future. It's like more dead end rather than get something that's sustainable, like with a sustainable living wage, benefits, something that's going to help me help the family or help myself. When you have the proper money that you need, it makes things flow a lot better, especially in home life. Even if you're not single, or even if you is, you feel better when you know you're secure, right?
Of course.
So financially, it's just like the jobs that I have, they're not ideal as far as I'm concerned. But I did take the liberties to try to do other things so I can go for those jobs that I'm looking for. And I get interviews, and some of them don't even call me back. And I think it's because once they see my background, it just blocks me out. Even though they say it doesn't, in some ways it does. And I'm not saying if you have a record you can't get in. I just haven't been fortunate enough to figure out the formula yet. So it's not that.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone.
Right.
I mean, from my experience, it seems like this is, your story is your story, but
right.
It has similarities to other stories I've heard over the years. But I think when you put your finger on something really important, when you said it's a job with no future, right? How does that impact you, like on a soul level?
So it's kind of scary, because when you get older, you want to have some type of security, or the knowledge, at least the knowledge to know that it's there. And when you don't, it's kind of put you in a state of mind of like, I guess when I'm unsure, it make me do things that I wouldn't normally do. Lately, I haven't really did anything outrageous, and I don't even want it to get to that point, right? So I've been able to manage to keep a job for over 7 years. I've managed to go to school and stuff like that and get credentials.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And I've been home. This is my 8th year, December 17th.
Okay.
And,
all right, good job.
So things aren't all bad, but they can be better. And that's why we're here trying to make them better.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not even if it's all bad. It's like what the amount of obstacles and the amount of strength and fortitude, mental toughness that you have to hold on to that job for 7 years and not do anything outrageous for 8 years, when things don't seem to be set up for you to succeed. That, to me, that's where the problem is. And I commend you, for what you're doing, but it doesn't seem like it should be that hard. If you show up, suit up, you're willing and able, then you should be able to not only exist, but
thrive.
Progress and thrive.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree, Dominique, but I'm not giving up. I'm not truly discouraged. There's hope, especially when you have the knowledge to know what's really going on. Doors will eventually open. They're just a lot slower than what I thought they would be, but there's hope. So, especially with the work that we do.
Yeah, it's dope that you are not only, getting hope for yourself, but working on getting hope and opportunity for other people in your predicament, and some folks that, aren't system impacted, although in our community, even if we haven't directly been incarcerated, most of our families have some kind of impact. A loved one who's been inside, or being impacted by the foster care system or other systems, in the justice industrial complex.
Correct. Yeah. I agree. They have. And it don't just affect me, it affects the public. Because when you have guys who really don't care or really don't make the effort other than crime, it affects the surrounding people, basically, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and if, back to your point, when the money is flowing from a source that's legit and you have that security, it's going to change your mindset. And then it's easier to get away from, I don't care, I got nothing to lose, into how do I build my community.
It gives you focus, it gives you hopes, and you can dream a little bit. Yeah, so basically I'm a dream whether it's there now or whether it's there later, because the things I've been through, I feel like I can make it. It'll be all right.
Yeah. That's dope.
You can make it. And I think what's important to note, too, is Sam's story, although it's unique from his own lived experience, is not the exception. It's really the rule. Like you just said, most Black people, especially Black people in LA, if you're not directly impacted by or you haven't been formally incarcerated, you are directly impacted by the carceral apparatus, and it touches all of our lives. And in many ways, that is another way that they are looting our future, because that costs money. When you lose a loved one to being incarcerated, that is a loss of income for your family, or that is money that you then have to provide for their books. That's money that you're spending on gas to visit them. With this JPay ridiculous situation where letter writing is a thing of the past, that is $1 per email sometimes or more. And so there are all of these really extractive mechanisms in which they are looting Black communities. And it is a very little ask for us then to demand that we have the jobs that we deserve. And what's really interesting is there was a time that LA was a leader in a diverse public workforce. And what we've seen over the last 50 years is austerity, privatization, and this deliberate kind of throwing rocks but hiding your hand idea around merit-based opportunities, which I think is a dog whistle for whites only.
Yeah, I mean, it tends to be, because what is merit and who decides what's meritorious? So, you're getting a lot of encouragement in the YouTube chat. People are saying don't give up, and, it's reminding us that these are organized systems that are devised and designed to keep us out. And so how can people support this charter reform change? We'll look at that when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This holiday season, KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you and yours joy, peace, and prosperity. As we celebrate with family and friends, we're already looking forward to an exciting first quarter, packed with must-attend events to kick off the new year just right. In January, join us for our inaugural Brotherhood Brunch, bringing together community leaders, change makers, and everyday people for inspiration and connection. February means it's time for our signature Black History Month luncheon, a powerful celebration you won't want to miss. And in March, Women's History Month, we're once again hosting our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium and Luncheon, addressing the issues that matter most inside our community. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, happy holidays. Stay tuned for more details on these incredible upcoming events. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice, your community, your power.
Are you coughing a lot, especially at night? Are you often short of breath? Are you using your rescue inhaler often? These could be signs that your asthma is not under control. To keep your asthma in check and help prevent an asthma attack, ask your healthcare provider for an asthma action plan. This is a personalized plan you create with your doctor that shows you what to do and what medicines to help control your asthma and to use when you're having a hard time breathing or when you're having an asthma attack. Please don't wait until you're having an asthma attack. Do something about it now. Schedule a visit with your healthcare provider today to make that action plan and take control of your asthma. For more tips and resources on the management of asthma, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
You belong here. We're glad that you are here. And we are talking about black jobs, not the ones that the president, well, actually, they are kind of the same ones the president is eliminating, but how we build them for the city of Los Angeles. Ariel Moore is a campaign coordinator with the LA Black Worker Center. Sameul Rice is a member leader, and we're talking city charter reform. I know you've got more to break down. Time flies when you're on the radio. So where are you? Where are we at right now with the steps that need to be taken to make this happen?
Right. So what's interesting about city charter reform is it's really happening in 3 phases. The first phase is where we're at right now. So that is with the city charter commissioners. And so they are hosting public meetings, and we are focusing on personnel. The meetings are divided by kind of interest areas, and we will be attending the personnel meetings next week, which is on December 11th, as well as December 18th. Folks, we're really encouraging folks to join us to give public comment. This campaign is about restoring the promise that LA once made to Black workers and then took back. We are fighting for Los Angeles where Black workers can build careers, buy homes, and build stability in the communities that they love. And that is going to require a real working class solidarity. It means that we need Black workers, Black folks to show up and support this campaign. But that also means that we need all of our siblings across racial lines to also demonstrate the type of working class solidarity that has won big things before.
Yeah. So where are these meetings? It's interesting they're having them during the holiday season when everyone's distracted, but okay.
What's even more interesting is that they don't post the time or location until about a week before the meetings happen. And so
Wow.
the meeting on the 11th is at City Hall.
City Hall.
As well as the meeting on the 18th. And if folks are interested in more details about those meetings, they can reach out to me directly. My email is amoore@labwc.org.
It's OORE?
Yes.
amoore@labwc.org? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good stuff. Samuel?
Basically, if we don't fix this now, an entire generation of black workers will be locked out of the public sector completely. And this is a fight for economic justice, racial justice, and the future of black Los Angeles.
I mean, the thing about that, it's so crazy because the jobs that we've traditionally been allowed to take, it's like they didn't notice that those were good jobs, and now suddenly someone noticed or being pushed out. So when you look at the numbers around the recent push-outs, the unemployment, the public sector jobs in Washington, or the federal jobs, because they're not all in Washington, that black women have been pushed out of, the folks that are getting hired now are white men.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And so seems very intentional, and it's clear that somebody said, wait, they have benefits and decent wages. Why are these black people in these jobs?
Exactly. And I think you're right. It's deliberate.
It's DEI. It's just DEI for white men.
It's just DEI for white men. It's deliberate. And what we've seen really in the last 50 years is this increase in privatization, which means that most folks are not working for employers that are mandated to pay for your health care, that are mandated to provide pension or any type of support after retirement. And so, public sector jobs were the best kept secret for a while. If that you weren't familiar with it, if you had no proximity to it. And now all of a sudden, when employers are saying they're only going to cover 50% or 0% of your dependents, everybody's like, whoa, 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 that's my whole check.
Yeah, that's crazy. So somebody, Carl Tucker, is in here asking what you know, if anything, about how a person would get a job at, say, the convention center, or some of these jobs that are popping up around LA where we have new stadiums and new tourists,
That's another
facilities.
Yeah, another example of the austerity of it all. And so it used to be that you would get that job through Public Works. Now you're getting those jobs through contractors, which means that you're doing the work. You're going to help build the convention or build the stadium, but you're not going to get any of the benefits. And those jobs particularly, if you hurt yourself, if something happens on the job, that's where those benefits really kick in terms of like subsidizing the kind of safety issues that come along with work like that. But when you're contracting out the work, they don't really care about the worker. They just care about making sure that the contractor gets paid what the city owed, and then we get the crumbs.
So it sounds like you're saying that's probably not the greatest source of a living wage job at this moment.
I am.
Unless folks can organize around that. Yeah, we've got another pair of tickets right now to ride the party train. We'll take caller 15 again at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Food, music, holiday carols, and a chance to just chill and ride around on the party train. That's taking place on Saturday in LA. And of course, you are, you're welcome to bring a friend, because we've got a pair of tickets for two at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. So how can we help?
One way to help is to follow Los Angeles Black Worker Center on social media. We have Facebook, we have Instagram. That's the best place to get updates and to stay locked in with the campaign. Also, you should subscribe to our newsletter. We send out a campaign newsletter, an update with actions that we are calling on folks to take. That comes out every other week. And so that's a great way to be plugged in. Sam, how did you get plugged into the Los Angeles Black Worker Center?
It was actually at a hiring event at Southwest College. But over the time, once I seen what the Black Worker Center was really about, I didn't even focus on that no more because I was already employed. So I never just, knew so much was available for us or was supposed to be available to us. And that's why I got involved, because it matters.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the name, but I think we hear so much BS. And also, to your point, we are made promises that turn out to be empty. Mm-hmm. That sometimes LA Black Worker Center goes in one ear and out the other because it sounds like just another something that's a nothing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, that's true. And I think that people in this fight, we're the underdog that people aren't expecting. And yesterday we showed up to a charter reform meeting. We probably had at least 15 people give public comment. We are bombarding them with the facts. And we are giving a presentation actually at a charter commission reform meeting in January on the 15th. We're really excited. And I feel like this campaign is the opportunity to address all the things you just named. Promises have been made but not kept. The LABWC has this historic relationship with the city around how we are able to improve working conditions and material conditions for Black people. And we are hoping that this campaign can demonstrate to the public that we are still very committed to that fight.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's great that you guys are doing the work. And I think, it is true, when we organize, it makes a difference. The charter, I'm sure the Charter Reform Commission was surprised to see you guys rolling up.
Mm-hmm. Deep. They were.
Those are the kind of surprises I love to hear about. Samuel, we just got a couple minutes here. Have you seen it make a difference? Have you seen the organizing make a difference?
I have, and that's why I stuck around, because, like I said, this was news to me. I didn't know it was Black people helping Black people. So once I seen that, I was like, oh, this is cool. So I stuck with it. So it also gives me a positive mindset day to day, because they keep me active in the community. And the things I see just inspire me, because there is hope and there is change with the LABWC. So it's a compound effect, right? So when you basically hammer a stone, you might not see nothing in the beginning, but in the end, that stone will crumble. Just don't give up.
Yeah, that's well said. Okay, we just got about a minute here, but Ariel, we started out with you kind of explaining what the LA City Charter was, and you did it really well. So I wonder if you kind of say that again, just because we need to be aware of it.
Yeah, so the LA City Charter operates as the city's constitution. It's essentially our rule book. It decides what the rules of the games are, who gets to play, and who gets to sit on the bench. And those are we think that the rules are rigged, and we are looking to change them with this campaign.
And right now, the city is in the process of redoing those rules, which doesn't happen very often, right?
Perhaps maybe a once-in-a-generation opportunity.
Yeah, so this is not something that is not like redistricting that they do it every 10 years or every 5 years at the moment.
Right.
This is something that happens when it happens, which is almost never.
Exactly.
So if there was ever a time to get in on helping to rewrite the rules for the city in which you live, the city we love so much, with all of its ups and downs, this is a great time, and what a great way. The social media is at LABWC?
Yes.
Terrence Pettis says it's definitely rigged. So Terrence at LABWC on all social media. You can connect with the LA Black Worker Center and be part of at least having a voice in how the new rules should be written. Ariel and Samuel, thank you so much for the work that you're doing, and thanks for hanging out with us this morning.
Thank you so much, Dominique. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Dominique.
Yes, Dr. James Lance Taylor joins us next hour. We're going to unbox some of the crazy that's going on the world stage. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
LA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The DOJ is suing a Westland, Michigan landlord, William Asper, for sexual harassment and retaliation under the Fair Housing Act. He's accused of offering housing for sex, making unwanted advances, and threatening eviction when women refused. This woman was a victim.
This is the closest you can meet to a demon on this earth. He is a monster.
Prosecutors say he preyed on vulnerable tenants. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries backs a preemptive pardon for Representative Henry Queller, who faced bribery and money laundering charges. Jeffries called the case thin and said the outcome was right after President Trump announced the pardon in a post blasting